Like it always happens for me, the last week of Advent and the first few days of Christmas came at me with lightning speed. I had written the following meditation in honor of the last week of Advent, the week we're asked to meditate on love. But in God's perfect wisdom, He inspired me to write about love in a way that dovetails perfectly into all of Christmastide. So I made a few minor word changes and now present to you a reflection on Advent, Christmas, and the inexhaustible love you were created by and for. Merry Christmas, friends. At the end of Advent and the beginning of Christmastide. And what's here at the end? What is it all for? What is behind the chocolate calendars and plaster statues of shepherds and kings? The ancient carols and the presents and the general sense of excitement that even the most jaded senses. What waits for us? Well, the obvious answer is Jesus, but that answer seems to leave a lot unexplained. What is the force that draws even the hardest heart, the most zealous atheist, to participate in the coming days? What deep yearning have countless corporations been able to capitalize off of, to the tune of $1 trillion last year? What is it about this time of year that makes the loss of loved ones or broken relationships cut even more keenly? What are we so desperate to experience that we willingly pay money and travel great distances and participate in rituals and traditions totally at odds with the materialist utilitarian world? The answer is, of course, Jesus. But what does that mean? Take a look around you. Go outside. Look out your window. What is there? Mountains? Towering pines? A lawn of slumbering grass? A sky? Radiant blue with clouds lazily floating by? A sky of moody iron, too sullen to rain or snow? Are there the remnants of summer's leaves, brittle and brown, waiting to be crunched underfoot? What is there around you? Why is there anything around you? Why is there something instead of nothing? That is natural law. That is the map home that the Father wrote on the heart of every person, the ability to deduce the existence of God simply by observing the world around us. I think one of the reasons our world is so broken is because we've moved so far away from nature. We can spend whole weeks illuminated only by the light of electricity as we drive to jobs in the dark mornings of early winter, sell our labor in warehouses and offices, and drive home in dark evenings to watch glowing screens until we collapse into bed, restless and unsettled. The goodness and beauty and wonderment of nature goes by unobserved and removed until the very world that is our home becomes foreign and strange. For beings that were designed to have creation be our very first catechism lesson, it's no wonder that we doubt even the basic existence of a creator. But it goes deeper, I think, than a tragic separation from the outdoors. I think that so many of us, in our brokenness, believe that we are so wounded, so imperfect and flawed that we are unworthy of love. We can try to love our family and friends, and we see how often we mess that up. We can try to accept the love from those same people, and we often mess that up too. To a greater or lesser degree, we try to hide these perceived failures from ourselves and the world. But there, in the quietest, deepest chambers of our heart, we harbor this thing that we think is the truth. And that's the leap that is so hard for us to take. We can look around this amazing, breathtaking, glorious planet and realize that it's all there because someone made it. But we then follow this truth deeper, and we're told that this someone is love. The source and wellspring of all love is a someone, and this someone loves us. Here, I think, is where it breaks down for so many. To have to accept that the Creator, who made us and sees us, also impossibly loves us? How could a being capable of making oceans and galaxies and ferns and fire see our hearts and still love us? How could an all-powerful being see the terrible things we've thought and done and still lavish us with breath in our lungs and daily sunsets so beautiful it takes that same breath away? It's a possibility too terrible to accept, and so many of us just don't. God, understanding all these thoughts and fears better than we could even understand them ourselves, responds with a single word. One single word that was uttered from the beginning of all things. A single word that dwelt with God, who was God. A single word that 2,000 years ago became a human being, became one of us, who chose to be born in a damp cave to an impoverished couple so poor and so powerless they had nowhere else to lay this newborn child than in a box full of food for animals. If it seems too difficult to believe that you are the beloved of the God of the universe, who created supernovas and hurricanes and every single blade of grass beneath your feet, know that this difficulty, this fear, never went unnoticed. God saw how scared you were to believe that you are loved, and so He came to you as a tiny, helpless child. He came to you, as something so vulnerable and small that it seems reckless to even imagine. And He did it to give you a safe and sure passage to help you bridge that terrible chasm we all carry inside us, to walk toward the love of God. This is what lies at the end of Advent and the heart of Christmas. Behind the decorations and children's choirs and family visits and office parties. It is a primal response to love, the desire to be loved deeper than words and mistakes and shortcomings. It is the naked hope that we could be truly loved by our friends and our families and somehow by our Creator. Could such a wish ever be granted? The answer, once again, is Jesus.